A lot of people don't know this, but there are places where you can find crystals in every dirt ravine. But among these crystals, can you find a diamond? Or just ordinary worthless crystals? Well, the answer to both questions is very simple, because if your stone is just an ordinary crystal, you can have a beautiful collector's item and you can even use it as a lucky charm. But if you find a diamond, everything changes. A good diamond can bring you a lot of money, maybe enough to pay off your mortgage, or if you're lucky, even a nice retirement with millions of dollars in your bank account. The possibilities are endless, but it all depends on the size and quality of the diamond you find. From quartz crystals to moissanite crystals, there are many types of crystals that are very similar to diamonds. Because of this, many lay people end up confusing some of these crystals with diamonds. That's why this video will show you the differences between each crystal and a real diamond. There's even a test you can do to find out if a crystal is a real diamond in a practical, inexpensive, homemade way. So stick with me for a few more seconds, because in case you didn't know, the odds of finding a high-quality diamond in nature are infinitely greater than the odds of winning the lottery. And that's why after I reveal all of this to you, I'm going to give you a bonus at the end of the video so that you know the procedures to sell a diamond if you're incredibly lucky enough to find one out there. Because a lot of people have this concern and they have this question. What if one day I try to sell a crystal thinking it's a diamond? Will I get in trouble? Well, the answer is no, because if you ever try to sell a crystal thinking it's a diamond, the experts will do tests before you buy it to authenticate the stone, and as a result, they will realize your mistake. The real problem is when the opposite happens. Imagine you found a beautiful crystal that's too big to be a diamond. Then, because you don't understand much about the subject, you end up seeing your diamond as if it were just an ordinary crystal. It almost sounds like a financial nightmare, doesn't it? But that is exactly what happened to this beautiful yellow diamond called the Golden Canary, one of the largest cut gems available on the luxury market. In addition to its golden color, the diamond stands out for its purity and impressive 300 carats. The estimated value of this gem is $15 million. The Golden Canary was found in the Democratic Republic of Congo in the 1980s by a little girl playing in a pile of rubble near her uncle's home. The little girl, in her innocence, gave the stone to her uncle, who later sold the Golden Canary, weighing 890 carats in its raw state, as if it were a more common crystal, for much less. According to Sotheby's, it is the largest internally flawless diamond ever graded by the Gemological Institute of America. Now imagine that this happened to you. What would you do? Well, for most people who already know a little about gemstones, it might seem easy to tell a diamond from any other crystal. But for most ordinary people, it all seems the same. So take this example. Here are two stones on your screen. One is a regular crystal and the other is a diamond. The first thing you need to know is what each of these two stones are, what a crystal is, and what a diamond is. It may seem a little unnecessary, but this information will help you a lot, and you'll understand why. Any translucent stone can be called a crystal, and the most common is quartz crystal, known for being the most abundant mineral on Earth. In other words, there are lots and lots of quartz crystals out there. And the best part is that you can find quartz in different colors, such as purple amethyst, rose quartz, yellow citrine, blue quartz, smoky quartz, and even green. Colored quartz crystals, if of good quality, can also be worth a lot of money. These crystals are fragile to impact, which means that if you hit them with a hammer, they can break easily. But they have a hardness of 7 mohs to scratch, which means that they can be used to scratch glass and other materials. Crystals have a relative density of 2.66, which means they are 2.66 times heavier than water. Now, diamond is made up almost entirely of carbon, which is the same chemical element found in graphite, which is the same chemical element found in the ashes left after a fire consumes wood. In other words, it's what's left of something after it's completely burned. Like quartz crystals, diamonds can come in a variety of colors, including black diamonds like this one. It is very resistant to impact and has a maximum hardness on the Mohs scale. And it has a relative weight of 3.5, which means it's 3.5 times heavier than water. Now, I know you already know that even though these stones look similar, they are completely different. And how important is that to know? Well, because of the different materials, Each of these stones crystallizes in a different way. Quartz, for example, crystallizes in a hexagonal shape with 6 sides and a pyramid at the top. All quartz crystals grow this way in nature. Diamonds, on the other hand, grow in a different shape than quartz, with 4-sided cubic crystals. It has a shape with a double point on each side, just like the one you see now, but the actions of time can end up breaking and wearing down these points. Other diamond shapes are the 12-sided dodecahedron and the perfect cube, which is similar to a dice. These are also natural forms of crystallization, although they are much rarer and generally only used for collection purposes. But what usually happens in most cases is that both the diamond and the more common crystals are broken and irregularly shaped. And then there are those cases where the stone has already been cut, such as diamonds and crystals from rings and earrings. In other words, identifying these gems by their natural formation is almost impossible without the right tools. So how do you go about identifying them? Well, that's the best part. We're going to start differentiating these stones when they're broken. And that's why it's important to know the formation of the two stones. A lot of people don't know this, but even though diamond is the hardest mineral in the world, it can be naturally broken by the force of nature. But a diamond will never break like a quartz crystal. Look at this stone and tell me what it is. I know it may be difficult for some people to identify, but these are samples of broken quartz crystals. Notice that the crystal is broken and uneven. When you find a stone like this, you don't need much explanation, and you can be sure it's not a diamond. In general, when a quartz crystal breaks, it's all smooth, and this irregularity ends up increasing its brilliance, which is why many people mistake stones in this condition for diamonds. The conchoidal fracture of a quartz crystal, on the other hand, is a shell shape. In this case, try to notice small curves as it breaks. This type of fracture is the same that occurs in glass and also in obsidian, which is a natural glass. Sometimes the shape is identical to that of a perfect shell, even with freezes. But a diamond will never break like that. It's hard to get pictures and videos of broken diamonds because it's very difficult to break a diamond. But take a look at these examples of real diamonds. Note that diamonds only break irregularly, never in a conchoidal way like quartz crystals, for example. But the difference with the irregular breaking of a diamond is that they can leave straight lines where they break, and these lines are extremely characteristic of a diamond. Crystals can leave irregular lines when they break, such as jagged lines and random curves. But diamonds leave straight lines like brushed steel. Now let's analyze a crystal and a diamond with a list of differences. First, you can find crystals in almost any size. Diamonds, on the other hand, are always very small stones. It's very rare to find a diamond larger than 1 gram. That's why the little girl's uncle ended up doubting that the huge 800-carat stone was a diamond. As shown at the beginning of the video, large diamonds do exist, but they come from very deep mines, and even then they are extremely rare. Even so, the crystals will be much larger than any diamond. Another important characteristic comes from the very nature of the stones, which is their brilliance. No matter how brilliant the crystal is, it will never have the brilliance of a diamond. And in gemology, this is called the refractive index, because every stone is capable of absorbing and reflecting a certain amount of light. Even perfectly clear diamonds reflect more light than a crystal. The brilliance of a crystal is called vitreous brilliance, which means it is similar to the brilliance of glass. But diamonds have a luster called adamantine luster, or metallic luster, which means that the luster of a diamond looks like the luster of a metal. The diamond not only absorbs light, but also reflects it. If it were possible to make window glass from pure quartz crystal, as crystalline as possible, this crystal glass would appear almost invisible because of its crystalline nature. But if it were possible to make diamond window glass as pure and crystalline as possible, you would still be able to see your reflection in it. In other words, you would not only see the other side, but you would also see yourself as if you were standing in front of a faded mirror. But it doesn't end there, because if you need help identifying the stones you have found in nature, but you don't have access to an experienced prospector or gemologist in your area, know that you can identify these stones yourself from the comfort of your own home. Just access our gemology ebook for beginners by clicking on the first link in the description. Because there you will have access to home methods that will help you identify these minerals with home tests and complete tables with all the crystals already cataloged. Just go to the first link in the description and get started. But what if you find a diamond? Where can you sell it? Well, to sell a diamond, look for a reputable jewelry store in your area with good references in both the valuation of the jewel and its reliability. If possible, go to more than one to avoid fraudsters. Also, make sure your diamond is certified to make sure you get a fair deal. But to sell a diamond, you need one, right? Then watch this video to learn how to find diamonds in nature. Feel free to comment on what country you're from and if you found any gems out there. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Good luck, gem hunters.